We've got so many trains. We got Hot Wheels trains.
Yeah.
We got wooden trains.
Yeah.
What's the one we have the most of?
Lionel.
Oh my gosh, we have so many Lionels. It might be my fault. But anyway, we wanted to pick our top 5 again this year. It was pretty easy to do last year, but this year we have so many trains.
Yeah.
It was really difficult to pick them all out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did you pick all of your favorites?
Yes.
So then I picked the leftovers. So that way we've got 10 here for you. So let's break down our top 5 for each of us. Our top 5 Lionel trains in the collection. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Ah! I was afraid you're going to hit me in the face. I'm going to alternate between my picks and my son's picks through these. So that way we can save the best for last. Because let's face it, at the end of the day, his favorite train is the most important one in this whole list. I intentionally let him pick his top 5 first, and then I picked mine so that way there aren't duplicates, so we can cover as much ground as possible. There's a lot more engines than when we did this last year, so not only did that make this hard to pare down, but I'll try and keep things a little more brief so we can cover all 10 of our picks. Coming in at number 5 for me is this pair of F3 diesels. These are Lion Chief Plus 2.0, just like the new ones in the 2025 catalog. I got these for his birthday in 2023, and they've honestly gotten more use in the last year recently because of the passenger cars they pull. Because these same cars are the ones that get pulled behind our Big Boy 4014 and Challenger 3985 for their excursions, it's easier to toss these F3s on the track than it is to change out all of those passenger cars for something else. As a result, I've actually really grown fond of running these diesels for their faultless operation, classic looks, and man, can they throw some sound. Number 5 for my son's pick is another diesel, but this one is a little more famous. Our friend Chris had these awesome SW8 Switchers made with Train World, and it's an excellent engine. Whether we're pulling a short train around the layout or having some fun in the switch yards, the RBP Switcher has been a remarkably nice engine to use, especially for its size. It never skips a beat over these 036 switches, and it's got sharp details, surprisingly good sound projection for such a small engine. It's really the whole package, wrapped up in a small, maneuverable size. We love using it everywhere, even taking it to our local train club for others to enjoy. 4th on my list is the Heber Creeper, number 618. This great consolidation blends a lot of elements that I like. It's got an interesting history, it's nicely detailed, it's got lots of great features like whistle steam and legacy control, and it's a great size that fits in well with our scale and semi-scale engines. When it arrived, it needed a little bit of TLC, but it's running strong and problem-free ever since. I only hope that the real one gets to run again soon. This one's a really fantastic engine to have here, and it would be great to see the real one in person. For my son, his number 4 is another legacy steam engine, the Metka Mogul. We affectionately refer to this one as Little Green, which is not only appropriate for its small size and painted boiler, but also a nod to an abridged parody show I used to watch. You can leave a comment if you know the reference. There's a theme to be found with our engines that have made this list, as they're not only good engines to run, but they almost always have a story, and this one is no exception. It's the first legacy steam engine I purchased new, and I wouldn't have gotten it were it not for the awesome guy behind it, Stu from Metka. Honestly, that's a reason enough to make this engine make the list because he's a top 5 guy in my books. I know he enjoys seeing us share Little Green on our channel, and even with kids at our local train club. Halfway through, and this one might seem like a repeat of last year for me, but for those with a keen eye, the Lionmaster T1 Duplex is actually different than the one I used last year. This one is the legacy version, with whistle steam, road number specific dialogue, and other great features thanks to its newer operating system. But it wasn't always this way, as I had quite the rocky road to recovery with this Penzi steamer after a bumpy ride here. But it was worth the effort to fix these up, and now that it's good to go, we decided to let our TMCC version of this Lionmaster go to another railroad. Number 5514 now runs happily at Kisco Falls Railroad, and it's great to see Mike enjoying it on the tracks there. The T1 Duplex will probably always find its way onto my list somehow because it is my favorite aesthetic design for a steam engine ever, of all time. And number 3 for my son is actually his number 1 pick from last year. Still, Zoo Train is an important engine here for more reasons than just being a fun little Lion Chief. We spent a good portion of our summer riding number 119 at the Omaha Zoo, so it's fun to also run this one at home. Despite this dropping down the list for my son, I actually think this engine is performing better now that we have it hooked up to our Lionel Base 3, because the control seems smoother through the Cab 1L than through the Lion Chief remote we normally use. Zoo Train is yet another example of connecting our railroad to local ties that we love. Speaking of that, number 2 is another local legend, Big Boy 4023. This almost made my number 1 spot, but it's had some issues, and I hope I've solved them all. After weeks of chasing electronic gremlins, I discovered that wires going to the wireless tether, which does seem slightly ironic, were breaking up. It was frustrating because these wires are a pain to get to and repair properly. While I was working on those, I also redid the front pilot handlebars, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Lionel never made a Lionmaster 4023, so part of the reason I love this engine is because I'm proud that we managed to make this work. From the road number specific dialogue that we got in it, to the aesthetics, it's so rewarding to see this icon of Omaha that we love also running on our home rails.
Copy that. 4023 is cleared outbound. Out.
My son's number 2 pick is actually the oldest train that we have. This is a post-war Scout number 1654, hailing from 1947. It was handed down to my dad when he was a kid, and now on to us. Aside from some cleaning, we haven't done anything else with Scout. It just runs. It's a rocket ship under full power, and because our elevated line can be more easily controlled conventionally, he tends to occupy that line a little more. We've just got to keep it dialed back so it doesn't launch itself off the side of the layout, but it is really fun having an icon of Lionel here to run. Our example doesn't have the whistle in the tender, but it did have a firecracker from a previous life that thankfully never got lit.
What is it?
It's an old firecracker. Someone tried to, but apparently never lit the fuse for a firecracker on this tender.
Yeah, it never landed.
All right, we're down to number 1 picks. Did you guess them already? For me, it's still the Lionmaster Challenger number 3976. This is still my favorite, and it never skips a beat. With that big in-your-face whistle, paired with its eye-catching Greyhound paint scheme, make it one I choose to run time and time again. But the thing that really helped keep this engine at number 1 are these passenger cars we found for it. They're a shade darker than I would have liked for these, but they really round out the Portland Rose and make it a fantastic one to run week after week. Only recently I discovered that 2 of the cars had bent axles on the wheels, so I replaced those and it's running even better. Glad I added these smoke deflectors, upgraded the headlight to LED, and yeah, it's no wonder I love running this engine as much as I can. And at number 1, the Big Boy 4014. This Lionmaster isn't that surprising as it easily gets the most runtime around our layout. It's obviously famous for its excursions in the real world. My son has 3 different shirts with it, and they're always the ones he asks to wear when I give him a choice. It runs excursions here with our streamlined cars, but also long freight trains. Because it's a Lion Chief Plus 2.0, it's super versatile control-wise, and that whistle, you just can't beat the sound file that they used for these. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same as the Vision Line Big Boy. That whistle is just epic. We spruced ours up a bit with some silver paint, chalk on the smoke box, and even a custom floor I made for it to look like the excursion version. You can't beat the Big Boy, especially when it's the engine that inspired us to build this layout in the first place. This was a tough year to choose our top 5 from. Let me know down in the comments what your favorites are, either from your own collection or from ours. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'd love it if you left a like, a comment, and subscribe to Datified so you don't miss what we're doing next. We'll see you on the next one.